Welcome to the Dutchman's Woodshack, where everything sawdust happens. All right. Well, today I'm going to give you a lesson. I did this on my other Dutchman's Woodshack page on Facebook, but this is what I was making. Okay, so this is the first one. Little turtles. This is the mold. And here's what I just got through, pulled out of the mold this morning. This one here. So, yeah. So, it's hard to show it, but yeah, so I don't want to drop it. See that? Okay, so that's number two. This was number one. Okay, so that turned. So what I used is this resin. This stuff here, aluminite. Now the problem with this stuff though is it sets up real quick, so you got to be really careful with it. And I've got several modes. Now I did this a couple years ago, and I love this. Right. The problem is, what do I do with it? So I was fooling around. I figured put it in a bowl, and it turned out okay. So anyway, that's kind of a showpiece, I guess. They should put a light behind it or something. Make a stand for it like that. Anyway, what I want to do today is show you guys how you can make these. Now, it's kind of tricky. All right. The reason I say this is a lot of things that's involved in it. Even to make a little thing like this, it can be it can be a nightmare. One is you have to drain the tank. All right. So it depends on how much my compressor's running. Now my compressor's behind you in a sump pump room, but you want to drain as much fluid and all of it out of the tank. So there's a valve that you open at the bottom of the tank to drain your air tank and get it as much as you can, and pretty much all of it if you can get out of it, whatever you can to get out of it. And then what you do is you let it run as you drain the tank. You take the hose and you blow, push down on the trigger and blow all the air out. The reason why, now I've had problems with this in the past. Okay, so there's moisture in the lines. If you take and blow this thing out now, if it feels like cold air, not bad. Not bad at all. A little cold, but here's the thing. When you do stuff like this, you want to be sure that you absolutely have you don't have any moisture in the lines. See, my big problem is I've done stuff in the past where it gets white and crusty. That's because there's moisture in the lines. If you're trying to do wood, now I don't know what I did with this one to make it, but the only thing I did wrong here is I didn't get, there's little pockets of air in here. All right. I didn't get down here where all these enough air in there to get the bubbles out. I mean, it did okay, and the only part I had an issue with is right here. Pretty much everything in here worked out pretty good, and I think it's cool, to be honest with you. But what do I do with it? So anyway, that's that project, and it was a fun project. I did 3 or 4 bowls that were sawdust, and you could take sawdust. I've taken sawdust like this, a little bit more chunkier. This is Osage. or butternut. I'm sorry, just butternut. I've been doing. You could do. Wait, I've got some. I've actually used stuff like this for sawdust bowls. Now this is the stuff you guys want for hamsters. Hamster cages. You can put them on the. I don't know if I put this kind of sawdust in a garden. The finer stuff I had would work better, but this stuff is kind of fun. I save a bunch of it because I kind of like. You can use this for oil dry too. Oil dry. Don't go out and buy the oil dry that in a bag. If you're a woodworker and you have sawdust, use that instead because that stuff is too expensive. Anyway, you could do all kinds of stuff. Now I'm doing this different this time. Now I want to do. I have dyes in here. And I don't know. The idea here is to make. Another one here. Is to make a bunch of this in these. So what you do is you take and you put the dye in these, which one you want, and then you put the clear resin. What I usually do is I start with the clear resin, and I know how much I need. Right about where that bow is right there in the bottom of the cup, that's the exact stuff, the exact measurement I want for this. And how did I know about that? Okay, so you can use weights. You're gonna use a weight meter for this to do it if you wanted to, but you got to remember this stuff's heavier than water, so I'm just using it by volume. So what I did is I took some water and I filled it up in a cup and I poured it until it came over to the top, right? And that told me how much I needed. Then I had 2 cups, one with water, one without. Then I took this with water and it dumped it in here. And that's how I found out where how much to put in there. Now, it gets tricky when you want to do different things. Like I did it with this one. Okay, in order to do this, to get this kind of reaction, you got to take, and if it's in here like this, you fill it up just before where the first fins in the front are, and with the turquoise, and then this is where you have different cups, right? And then what you do is you take your other colors you want to put your fins in the face. The same idea, except what you want to do is basically fill those 2 up and then fill the rest of the void with this. And that came out pretty good. I like the way it did. The only thing you're going to have is this. You're going to have a little bit of bleed over, but you know what? They came out exactly the way I wanted it. So I wasn't planning on, it actually came out better because I didn't think I was going to have this. I thought, I was worried about the turquoise bleeding over. That's the thing when you're doing resin. Okay, so everything that's heavy wants to float or that's light wants to float to the top. If I do this with water, say I was going to use sawdust, the problem with the sawdust is most of it would sit at the top, and I don't think the sawdust would look good in these. So I thought about doing some clear ones and putting some stuff in there, but nah, that wouldn't look good, clear. Anyway, so when I have these different dyes, right? So now I didn't use any of these in the last go around. What I used was this stuff. I used that gold leaf for the fins. Then I had the turquoise in the middle, or the blue-green. And now I had the ocean metallic on the other one, on this one. Now, I like to make them, but I was thinking about doing maybe a tie-dye one. What do you guys think? You think the tie-dye one would work? I'm not sure. But if I did a tie-dye one, that would be tricky because I'd have to take several of these cups and then try and hey, Mary Pat, how you doing? See, I'm dropping things. See what I just made? Man, these things are, I'm dropping things. Will I sell these? I don't know. So anyway, I'm trying to figure out whether I want to do dye in this next one or do like what I did with this one. The only thing I was told by the boss that I should have put some gold in here or something in here. And yeah, I could have probably. I don't know. I might do it again in blue and the same idea. So, and I thought about this. I have a red one. I don't know if I want to do a red one, but I have yellow. See, the problem with these dyes right here, they're dark. Okay, so like this translucent blue, it's kind of dark. And I tried making some of this with this once, and it kind of came out really dark. It looks like ink. You can see it's getting all over my hands. These things leak. I got to figure out a better way to put them somewhere. The green wasn't too bad, but the problem you have is when you mix these, they're a pain because they want to bleed into each other and make one big mess. Then you got, yeah, see, one of them's leaking somewhere. Anyway, then you got flow yellow. I thought about using flow yellow in some of this stuff, but I don't know how this would react to the rest of the resin. Because see, what happens is when you put the resin in here, see, I don't want to get resin and dye all over. Shoot. All right, so when you put the resin in here, what it likes to do is it likes to flow into each other. So the idea is, I guess it'd be like glass in a way. It'd be like glass. I was thinking about doing a tie-dye once, but it wouldn't work in here because it would turn everything different colors unless I layered it or something or used material. Like I'd probably get away with doing it using sawdust, but it'd have to be fine sawdust, and I'd have to color each one of these cups in that color and then dump them in at one, it's different times. I don't know if I want to do that, but that's the problem with the tie-dye. All right, now this stuff is pain. You have to use a mineral spirits to get it off. So it's not easy, and if you do it, use gloves, and make sure you wear gloves. I've already gotten this all messed up just by touching it. See, so and then what you do with this when you go to put it in the crock pot, before you even put your resin in it, you want to use this stuff. It's called stoner, but it's some other stuff too. Okay, this is called easy release or easy release, right? It's stoner easier. What you do is you spray this on the inside. I'll let it set for a minute or so. And then you can put your resin in it. When you go to pull it out, that'll pop right out. And you can use it on that. You can use it on this. I used to make Christmas trees out of these. So from now on, I'm going to be using this for Christmas trees. So, but I'm right now in the middle of, I don't know whether I'm going to do that first or do this. I love doing it. I haven't done much in wood turning. I have a couple of bowls that I'm working on, but I have one that I haven't finished. It's 2/3 of the way. Well, I'd pick it up. And the woodworking aspect has been done for a while. I haven't done much because I've been working on other things. So then I don't know if I'm going to get back into it. I do this for fun. So anyway, this is the bowl. This is a yellow ash I've been working on. And I have to finish sanding this. It's at the finished stage. I have all these marks I have to get off of them. And this is what they call a mortise. So I mortise this. So there's the other one's got it. There's a mortise and tenon. I have a tenon on the lathe right now. But this yellow ash has got some great color content to it. The only thing is I don't know. I thought about just maybe doing this a red, a gunstock red. I don't know if that would work. It might bring the grain out a little bit. It has great grain work to it, but see, it's kind of a dull. I don't know how this is going to turn out when I go to seal it with my finishes I use. So I might just go and stain this with a gunstock red. I love that, and it will see what happens. Then come over here and I'll show you my other project. Okay, so that's right there this is a butternut. So the butternut is really good. It's like an Osage. It has great grain to it, right? Well, the problem with this though, and it's split a little bit. It hasn't moved since, but I had this stuff that's called anchor seal on it, and it's still on the outside. I've got about halfway through. I'm right about here, and I need to go down to here, so I got about 1.5 inches to go further. But this is mortise. There's a tenon on it, so I was showing you the tenon, the mortise. That's the tenon. Now you put the chuck on that. When you get ready to do this, I have to put another set of teeth on, but that chuck goes on there. And I have to change these out. And that's where my teeth are in there. But you can never have enough tools. Anyway, this has finer dust on it. The sawdust, and it's not my tools doing it. I mean, my tools are sharp, but it comes out in a fine sawdust, right? Now, I've been using this on my train layout, believe it or not. My end gauge train layout, I saved some of this stuff so I could use it. And I have a bunch of sawdust, different kinds of sawdust from different wood on there. Turns out great. And I've been working on this. Okay, so my predicament here has always been here. The other side is my workbench. So I made these so you can slide them. Okay, not a problem, right? Well, the reason I did that, there's two reasons. Okay, one is to keep everything off my workbench, because when you're gouging this way on the outside, it's not so much on the inside, it's the outside. It goes through, it'd go over the wall, right? So I made these. Now what I'm going to do is I have to move this board over and put a divider in the middle so I can have them going both back and forth. But the other reason why is there's an air purifier up there, and that when I go to sanding, I have to have that on so I can move this further out, and that going on, it'll catch a lot of the loose sawdust there. Then I have my vacuum cleaner over here, my Powermatic Super Sucker. This thing does a great job, but you can see all the down below here, all the pipes. Okay, so what I usually do is I take this, not with this on, and I basically take and go, and this is what this is for, like this. Okay, so I have a piece of wood, I have a clamp on it, go like this. When I'm sanding, it goes in that pipe. Right now, I am messing with it. Now, the idea here on the floor is you see all the sawdust on the floor, right? What I want to do is make a platform. Make a platform that's above this stuff all the way across, and then so that the sawdust comes down this way, and it'd make it easier for me to broom, and I'd have a pitch to it. But I got to be careful. I've got my plugs in the back, so I got to get a different plug box, outlet box for that, so that I can hide the plugs, and so it won't get full of dust. And one thing you want to worry about is dust, both in your lungs and kaboom. So, anyway. Yep. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. I wanted to show you what I was doing. I haven't made my mind up what kind of resin work I'm doing. But this is my shop. For anybody that's on here. And for my for all the people that subscribe, awesome. I'll be on more often now. It's winter. It's coming down. It's fall going into winter. So this is, I spend some time in here. My idea here is I like to do a lot of old tool collections, but I want to do this whole thing with the barn wood and pallet wood and scrap wood. I want to do this all the way around. Back there where the sump pump is and my air compressor is, that wall will be done. And I want to do it all the way around to make it look good. My problem is where I've got this air purifier, I'm trying to make a mosaic, not a mosaic, but I want to make a picture out of driftwood. I saw this in a place I went to. I think it was a restaurant or a microbrewery in Wisconsin. They had a branch that was cut in half. It was a scrap wood. It was I guess they got it off the river or something. But you could take scrap wood from laying around your backyard and you could build a tree. And they made like a tree picture out of it. It was awesome. I'm going to do the same thing eventually. So, leave me a message. Let me know you're out there. I'm back. I will be back. And here, the problem is I have 2 channels on here. I thought about making a third, but anyway. So here's the other thing I got to do. So none of you, people that don't know that. Okay, so here's my third project. All right. Voila. It's Jeff's Engage. Yes, they do run. Okay, so I've got. So people don't know this. All right, Dinobots. I got the Stay Puft. I got the Mini Dinobot. I got the Raptor and the Tyrannosaurus Rex there, and I've got a plane over here dive bombing it. Let's see if I can get this to run. This is my fastest train. So, when people ask me, how is this related to woodworking? It is, because the base is made out of wood, all the framework is made out of wood, a bunch of buildings are made out of scrap wood, believe it or not. My lookout tower up there is made out of wood. Some of my trees are made out of branches from my backyard. I got a bird's nest up there made out of sawdust and a branch. And I actually am going to probably do another one somewhere else. Yeah. And the inside of my buildings actually have scrap wood in it. So when you're doing something like this, you have to have imagination. All right. I don't like to repeat somebody else's project. I don't like to repeat things that are out there that somebody else can do. A big thing out west was the Tehachapi Loop. It's great. It'd be fun to build, but that's not my, I'd rather do my own thing. So I threw everything into work. And there's a few things I've had to stop doing because I've had electrical issues. And the more I add to it, the more issues I have. So you got to kind of, as an electrician, you have to narrow things down. And that's kind of what stage I'm at now. and I love running the trains. But like I used to work for the Forest Service. There are a lot of people that don't know this. And so what I have up here is I got 2 Forest Service station, 2 fire trucks right here. We've got a fire dozer, bulldozer. There's a fire station here. These 2 trucks are pumping a hose layout. The air tankers, by the way, are this. So, yeah, see? And then I've got a lookout tower out there. That has a light in it. The fire station has a light in it. The castle has a light in it. Up on top is another airplane I made, and it's dropping Phos-Chek retardant on the hillside, which is that way. I got a lake over here. I got logs everywhere on the river. There's a river there. I got to figure out how I'm going to do that. But yeah, I'm busy. See that since my hip operation, this is all I've been doing, basically building the model. And I got a bunch more I have to make. I'm in the process of doing. But this is my second project, my second hobby. And that's my oldest train, or my second oldest train. My first oldest train is what they call the crocodile up here, but don't get in it. But I have some trains that are 30, 40 years old. And, well, actually, it's as old as my marriage has been. So, 46 years, 47, going on 47. So, yeah, I love it. It's great. I have a great time with this. Although it gets kind of nerve-wracking sometimes when you have certain issues with electrical. And then I get a kick out of trying to add disaster themes to it. Now, I thought about taking that trestle over there and turning it into an exploding one like you do in the Adams Family, but no, I don't want to wreck my train. So anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. I got to go see what I'm going to do next. Mary Pat, thank you for watching. Tell Greg I said hi, and I hope he gets some rest. If he wants coffee or something, you know where he's at. Guys, have a great day. Bye.